This is Open to Hope Radio, featuring Dr. Gloria Horsley and her daughter, Dr. Heidi Horsley, coming to you on behalf of the Open to Hope Foundation, dedicated to those who are looking for hope after loss.
Welcome to the Open to Hope Show in partnership with the Compassionate Friends. I'm your host, Dr. Heidi Horsley, and I'm here today with my co-host and mother, Dr. Gloria Horsley. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Heidi. How you doing?
Good. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, well, we've got an interesting show today, and it's always tough because we're going to be talking about teenage depression and suicide. And we know there's a lot of that out there, and we have a wonderful woman on there who's going to give us some good advice because I know there are a lot of people that need it.
Our guest today is Carolyn Zahnow. Carolyn is the bereaved parent of Cameron, who died by suicide in 2005. As the result of his death, she founded the Shore Grief Center, located in North Carolina. The Shore is a nonprofit that provides grief support groups to kids, teens, and adults who have experienced the death. She is the author of Save the Teens, Preventing Suicide, Depression, and Addiction. Welcome to the show, Carolyn.
Hi, ladies. I appreciate you inviting me so I can share more info.
It's great having you on, and let me say I am so sorry about your son, Cameron.
He has really opened me up to help so many others, so maybe there was a message in all that.
I know you talk a bit about the signs that you missed with him, and I wondered if you wanted to talk about what some of those signs were for people that are listening.
The biggest thing was the fact that his dad died when Cameron was 15. That's actually what brought me to the whole Shore Grief Center thing. I didn't know how to help my son. You know, his dad had died. He was my ex-husband, by the way. But like any parent, you don't know, you don't plan for that to happen. So how do you help your kid? You do the best you can. And I remember, I thought, oh, well, I'll just share stories of my life with his dad. You know, we were married for 13 years. And he would just glare at me like, how dare you say anything about him? Like, I was trying. But from that, he started going downhill. And actually, he did go to many therapists, psychologists, psychiatrists. But when he drifted over into drugs, once again, I didn't know what to do. So there were signs, but I never assumed that he would kill himself. No one ever assumes that their child would do that. Never.
I agree with you, Carolyn, and you're making so many important points out there for people that have teens. But, teenage years are difficult even given the best of situations and the best. And here you had Cameron, and he lost his father, and he was only 15, and that's such a significant loss for a 15-year-old boy.
Right.
And, like you said, so we don't know how much of this is just in life when we have teenagers, it's just hormones and normal teenage stuff, or should we be concerned? And so I totally can understand for you and all the parents out there that have struggled with this kind of situation, how you can miss the signs. I like 3 of the things that you've said in an article that I read that you were interviewed for. The 3 things that you can really do, and I'm sure you did some of these, is acknowledge your teens and what they do, let them know that they are good enough, and listen to them. And I really love those because, there's so much pressure on teenagers, and they're being critiqued and criticized in school and by coaches and et cetera a lot.
Mm-hmm. But they also, this is funny as well. My son used to always, somewhere along the way, when he was a teen, he said, well, you need to tell me to make good choices. Mm-hmm. He was a funny guy, So I'm like, okay, every time he left, I'm like, Cameron, he goes, I know, make good choices. So, he knew these things already.
Right.
But I think his grief and his depression just overpowered any kind of making good choices for him, unfortunately. And teens do want, they want to be heard. They may not respond. It's just important. Whether they respond or not, they want to hear it. I also learned after my son's death that when they are abusing drugs, they can become bipolar.
How do you get teens into group support?
Most therapists are the ones who recommend to the parents, they will do better in a group because they're sitting with a peer. Maybe they don't know them, but they definitely connect. The facilitators are there, but we're just kind of guiding them, and we're also giving them the better choices of things to do. But when they're sitting at a table doing a collage or drawing something, that's when they open up to each other. So we just sort of step back and let the magic happen.
Teens have some of the best conversations when they're doing something.
Yeah.
Some of the best conversations happen shoulder to shoulder, or when you're doing something. And sometimes teens will, as you know, look at our facial expressions to see how we're responding to what they're saying.
Oh,
and if we're responding with a weird nonverbal communication, they might shut down or change the topic. What can teens do to shake off bad days?
I would say the biggest thing is go out and do something physical. Because when you do that, I mean, just running, playing basketball. I see kids on my street play basketball all the time, and they're so excited. Whatever the current high activity thing is, hey, then go dancing, you know. But that increases the endorphins in your brain, and that just makes you happier immediately.
Yeah.
That's one thing they can shake off. Just have some kind of relaxing hobby, you know, where get off your phone, for crying out loud. Do some happy stuff. Think happy thoughts. Listen to happy music. Not some of this dreadful stuff.
Well, you know, you're making a really good point. And the research shows that for every negative thought we have, we should force ourselves to think 3 positive thoughts. Because it takes 3 positive thoughts to counter that negative energy that you've just put into your brain.
I wanted to ask you about founding the Grief Center. I think that's pretty amazing that you did that. There was nothing in your community, and you did the Shore Grief Center?
After a suicide, people really want to help others. But they recommend that you wait 2 years before you do anything. I started an adult grief support group for others who've lost someone to suicide. So I did that like 2.5 years after he died. But as I was going over years, now he died 10 years ago. So over time, it took me a little while for me to hook the dots, going, wait a minute, maybe he was depressed because his dad died, and I didn't know how to help him. There was nothing there to help him. I attended the National Alliance for Grieving Children conference. And I told them what I was doing, and you know, they said they strongly encouraged me to start a nonprofit. So I did.
What do teens want from their parents?
They want acknowledgement for one thing.
Okay.
You know that they too. Sometimes parents figure teens just want to be left alone, but
that's true.
You have to pretend they're 6-year-olds in an adult body.
I like this. Yeah.
They still want attention and love. They really do.
Yep.
It doesn't seem like it sometimes, but they do.
What about you? Now, you're a parent with no living children. How do you deal with that? You're teaching, you're getting yourself out with kids, even though you don't have any living children now?
Exactly, right. Some people would probably want to pawn their teens off on me. I'm like, no, that's okay. I've gone through that. I'll help them through their grief, but that's it.
I think this is important to know what you're doing. I want people to know this because we know people who are parents with no living children who are not doing well with it. And I think the way you move out with service is wonderful.
So, Carolyn, what would you say to parents out there that have no living children and are saying, I don't know how I'm going to survive, or even if I want to, I don't have any children here to live for?
Well, you don't just live for children, I would hope. I mean, somewhere along my grieving journey, someone said, find 2 or 3 things to live for. And that things, one of my things are daffodils. Watching daffodils bloom in March makes me happy.
I love that.
Another is one of my sisters, which sounds crazy. I do have a husband, but I have a sister who I'm really close to. So there's other things you need to find that make you happy, no matter what.
Was there a turning point for you in your grief?
It's somewhere between that 1 and 2 year mark, I would say. You start to give up on, you keep listening for the familiar sounds, you know, when someone dies, like the door being unlocked, the music coming from upstairs, things like that. You finally give up on that after a year. It's like, well, I guess they really are dead.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be able to say that. And
Right.
feel kind of comfortable with it. You never are. You'll survive this. I mean, I had someone before me early in my stage. I thought, well, they survived this, so I can too.
Yeah, that's really important. People further down the road can be lifelines for us.
Right.
And you also made another point, and I want to just paraphrase the philosopher Joseph Campbell, who said, we must be willing to give up the life that we have planned so that we can embrace the life that is waiting for us.
I remember I also went to, besides going to a Survivors of Suicide Loss group, I went to...
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you did that. Yeah, groups are
I
amazing.
did about 2 or 3 weeks after my son's death. And then after I went to 2 or 3 of those, I'm like, okay, wait, I have to put aside how he died and bring up the point that he died. Because just dealing with suicide is awful. So my husband and I went to one of the hospice grief groups, 6 or 8 weeks. And that, just like your paraphrasing was, I remember the night the leader said, okay, your future has changed forever. Woo! That's like someone just slapped me in the face. And it's true. It totally changes. There's no more ever being a mother of the bride. There will be no grandmother for me. It's just all of that. And people love to ask, well, why is it called the shore? Because you're not at the shore. Like, actually, where we're located is Wake Forest, and we're between the beach, and there's tons of lakes around us now. Lakes have shores, too, don't they? But to me, I've always loved the beach, and to most people, when you say, okay, the shore or the beach, what do you think of? And immediately they say, well, I'm peaceful, I'm relaxed. Like, there you go.
There
So you come
go.
to the Shore Grief Center, and you find peace and calm.
Thank you so much for being on the show today and for all you do. We want to thank everybody for listening to the show, and Heidi and I always want to remind you that if you've lost hope, please lean on ours until you find your own, and God bless.
You've been listening to Open to Hope Radio, hosted by Doctors Gloria and Heidi Horsley. Like today's edition, all of our past programs are available on demand at opentohope.com, along with helpful articles, videos, resources, and links to help get you through the toughest time of your life. You can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter and sign up for our monthly newsletter. Again, that's opentohope.com. Check it out today. Then be sure to stop by next Thursday at 9 a.m. Pacific Time when we'll be posting another edition of Open to Hope Radio. Remember, others have been where you are. They made it through, and you can too, as long as you're open to hope.